What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. Hope you're all doing well. This is the Cleveland Pulse podcast, and I am your host, Justin Harold. And with me, as always, my co-host, Jeff Santa. And today is another Victory Monday where the Browns beat the Giants on Sunday Night Football 20-6, making the Browns 10-4. So, Jeff, my brother, how you doing?
Good. I'm glad our defense didn't give up a touchdown this week.
Almost did that fake to
throw to the center. If the center would have scored, I might have been out of there. Might have been went to bed.
Quick 7-0 against us. Yeah. That was I mean, that's probably the cleanest game in terms of defense. In a place that the weather wasn't awful and everything that our defense played. I don't know that it's saying much considering we went up against the Giants and Colt McCoy. So honestly, just like really, it was a satisfying game. I'd rather take just like games like that than like having nail biters all the time. But honestly, just like not a whole lot to talk about to go into because essentially on the offensive side, we were getting what we wanted, and defensively, they missed and unfortunately would go out on 3 and outs sometimes. So really just a game where the Browns were the better team, evidently. And I think, Jeff, the interesting part about this now is that if I recall correctly, I think you had us going 10-6 and I had us going 11-5. So
pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty much there. However, do I still win if we go 12-4?
Yeah.
Technically, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. There's no way I lose. There's no way I lose because I don't think the Jets aren't gonna do anything.
Yeah, there's no way you lose.
So, but let's dive into the game a little bit. So, I mean, honestly, if you're gonna go off of stats, Baker again leading the team for probably the third straight week in a row. Very good to see again. 27-32, really, really good. Just kind of picking the team apart. I think he only had like one really bad throw, I think. But besides that, very clean game. A couple of times we got pushed back before that Nick Chubb touchdown that, Baker just picked up the yardage from all the penalties that we had gathered. But it's a shame that he didn't get 300 yards, 297, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Good for that. But outside of that, there's nothing really, Nick Chubb, 50 yards for a touchdown and 15 carries. Higgins led the team in reception yards. Jarvis gets another touchdown and another trash talking penalty, which Jeff always loves. Him and my dad love those kind of penalties.
Annoying. It's going to cost us.
My dad freaks when those things happen. He freaks, dude.
I mean, you knew Parkey was going to miss the extra point because we haven't had a kicker since Phil Dawson who can make anything inside 50 yards.
Yeah. So I guess that would be like a talking point. I mean, is Parkey going to be on this team next year? And if not, are we going to like draft a kicker or like? It's so hard. I was talking about it with my brother watching the game, and it's like. And I think we were trying to like explain it to my mom, just like the fact that like, for the most part, kickers are like a dime a dozen. Like you get one, and if for some reason they're Justin Tucker, then they're on your team. You pay them like a really good amount of money for being a kicker, but nothing like absurd. And they're with you for 10 years or their entire careers. So, but the way that Cody Parkey is trending. And Barstool, they tweeted out the thing about him double doinking. I mean, I'm afraid for that to happen in the playoffs, but like, I just know that he's going to be gone next year.
I don't know. I feel like we had something there with him. I think he's way better than Austin Seibert, but it seems like whoever we have in Zane Gonzalez, it feels like wherever we have them and they suck, and then they go somewhere else and they're way better than when we had them. Our special teams was probably the low light if there was anything last night. The big return on the first kickoff, and then Parkey just one miss, whatever. But I don't know. Special teams needs a little bit of work, I think. But besides that, I mean, take advantage of the basically the shell of the New York Giants team that you kind of expect to play going into the year. No Saquon and no Daniel Jones, thank God. So they did a good job on our run game, honestly, but it doesn't matter when they're playing zone defense. And remember, you asked me a couple weeks ago. You said, "Who would I rather play, Bills, Colts, or Titans?" And my answer has changed to whoever's going to play the most zone defense against us, because Baker shreds zone defenses very, very well.
Yeah, and that's the conversation I had with my uncle this morning. Is I think he said he wanted to play the Ravens again just because because he's a huge, longtime Browns fan and he wants the rematch
Right.
again after that such a close game. I was like, let's get to like round one and play someone who's easier and build a little bit of confidence. But yeah, I don't want to play the Bills. The Bills are absolutely out of the question now. The Colts,
Why?
the Bills.
Their run game
Bills.
sucks.
I know, but like I'm not worried about. I mean, anybody's run game could suck against any other team other than the Browns, though. You know that? Like,
Yeah, but
I'm not.
we did a good job against Wayne Gallman last night.
Apparently, Alfred Morris was their leading rusher or whatever. But whatever. I mean, my thing with that is just the Bills. The Bills are like us. Like, no matter how many points their defense gives up, they'll put it back up. Whereas like with the Titans, if their run game, I mean, I think the Colts are the easiest. I think the Colts are the easiest team to play out of the two, even though we didn't play them when they were fully healthy on defense. I think like it's really easy to get their offense out of sync. Because if they don't have the run game going, then it's kind of like, oh, you leave it up to Phillip Rivers, who's digressing, and then Tannehill's a better version of Rivers right now, and I don't want like a revenge game against the Titans where the Titans
I
come
don't
back
want to play the Titans.
yeah, so it's
Titans
interesting.
Titans might 20 ball us if we played them again.
Yeah, I mean it's hopefully next week and we win, and either Miami loses.
Yeah, we got to clinch after this week, right? If we win.
If either it's Miami loses, Baltimore loses, or like the Colts or Titans lose. One of
Well,
those.
We're five with we're the fifth seed with a two-way tie for the fifth seed, a two-way tiebreaker win. Because if the Colts are five, we win. Colts and Titans, we beat both of them. That's probably the biggest factor of the season. If we win next week, and we need some help, man. We didn't get any help this weekend. But if we win next week and hopefully other teams lose, maybe we have the 5 seeds solidified after next week.
I think we just clinch playoffs. I think we just clinch playoffs with next week. But honestly, I'm pretty confident for the next two. Obviously, we'll get into Pittsburgh, but like, the Jets, I think it's a fluke, obviously. Beating the Rams. Don't really know what happened in that game. Didn't really pay attention to it because freaking Darnold and Gore, it's not like their offense just like went off on like a good defense. They just like played above like what they usually do and were able to pull out the win against a good team, which I don't see happening 2 weeks in a row.
I don't want to win again. They can't
win
again.
But like I don't know that matters. Like no team is gonna like purposely like throw a game.
I think they already did. I think they purposely threw that Raiders game.
I don't know. I mean, well, they fired the guy who threw the game for them, but I don't know. I just think looking forward that like the Browns are pretty. My thing is next week will be a pretty interesting. Like, I want to see what the game plan is going to be because for the past 3 weeks, and please, people don't take this the wrong way. Nick Chubb has not been very existent and neither has Kareem Hunt really. And I'm actually really happy that that's the case because it makes me think that the whole year you give teams the rushing game and they start playing against it and then Baker starts tearing people up and now the Jets aren't. It's not going to matter like what happens. I'm going to say that Baker's probably going to be the reason we win that game again, or has like the good game again against them. And then the Steelers are going to be kind of like, all right, well, what are we going to do against them? Are we going to primarily focus on the pass or the rush? And hopefully we give them a mixed bag, and Nick and Baker and Kareem can all thrive off of that, because their defense is still very good, but their offense is something that's lacking. So it could be another Baltimore where we have to have a shootout of some sort, but it'll be interesting for sure.
I just think the game plan's easy against us. I think the Giants actually did a pretty good job. I think we could have scored more, but I mean, us only scoring 20 compared to the past 2 weeks is actually a pretty good job. I think their defense, besides giving up a boatload of passing yards, I mean, that's the game plan. I think at the end of the day, teams are going to let Baker Mayfield beat them. I think Chubb and Kareem are the sure two players, especially with some of the games that we've seen our receiving core have. There was no drops last night that I could remember, or fumbles, so that was good. Sometimes we come on the first half and we're dropping everything, and that's not Baker's fault, but if I'm any opposing defense, I'm stopping the run up front, I'm stopping Chubb, and I'm just if Baker's going to beat us in the air, that's basically my game plan. I just think sometimes that Chubb isn't the back for defenses. Like, he shouldn't be the main back against the Giants. They're kind of a run preventative, up front. Their defensive line is pretty good, I would say, and their linebackers are pretty good as well. They're meeting him at the line, and Kareem just a little bit shiftier on the outside, a little bit more pass catching ability. I think Kareem has to be the featured back against all the defenses like that, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. If Chubb's having a huge game, and especially with the way our line is, I'm kind of over the place, but especially with the way our offensive line is a little bit banged up. Nick Harris, shout out Nick Harris, great job.
Yeah,
but
for real.
Kareem's going to be the back if we have a starter hurt. Kareem is going to be the default back, I think, because Chubb is running behind the line.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good by Nick for him coming in and being able to fill in as the emergency right guard. He's the backup center, and it was like really weird to like hear people be like, "Oh my God, he's the emergency backup right guard," but like in reality, he is like a second string guy, not like, because they were going like, this is a third string guy. It's like, well, right. Technically he's playing out of position right now, but maybe they're hoping to eventually move him to guard, because I really like JC Treader, but we'll see what happens there. I just, I'm like looking ahead at this point, and I know like we're kind of not taking it out of the page of Kevin Stefanski, but I really just like, I can't like find anything to talk about with the Jets in terms of like, oh, well, we should really worry about this. Like, if Sam Darnold has a career day, then I'd be worried, but like he hasn't had that since he's gone into the league. And so I don't know. I'm not really worried about that. I'm kind of more invested in kind of like looking up and down of the Steelers offense. And I mean, they got quite a few guys that have over 500 yards, which is pretty amazing. We only have Jarvis and Richard, but like, I don't know, man. I can't like.
James Conner's hurt again tonight, not playing.
Yeah, we'll be watching that game. I mean, they're gonna win, but I know for fantasy reasons,
hopefully they don't.
I mean, they're going to. They're not going to lose to Cincinnati. A Joey Burrow-less Cincinnati. Yeah, maybe if Joey Burrow was playing.
I don't know, man. Their offense is bad.
I mean, I
especially
agree
without James Conner, and their defense is banged up. Yes, it's very unlikely. You're going to need a career day from Ryan Finley or whoever it is. I think it's Ryan Finley, but I mean, yeah, they're not going to win. The Bengals are not going to win, but it'd be nice. And it's honestly, it's just another game they have to play. I mean, that's still their 10th straight game, 11th straight game. They're banged up. Their defense is banged up. Their offense is banged up.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but to transition to a little bit more of something that we could probably get into, let's talk a little bit about Cavs. Cavs are starting up in 2 days, and not really. Oh wow, wait a minute. Is this last year's roster? 2019, 2020. Oh, maybe this is. I just saw someone from Xavier that my brother would probably be interested about. But anyways, Cavs start up. Jeff, what are your thoughts on what do you expect out of the Cavs this season? I mean, it's a little bit of a shorter season, but still a chance for them to make a leap um, in the Eastern Conference, which is you as you know has been the easiest conference for like the last decade and a half, probably.
Expecting pending disappointment. I think Isaac Okoro has a very good chance of being Rookie of the Year, which is
Really?
something we have not been able to say for a while since Kyrie Irving. Yes. I think, I don't know. Anthony Edwards there's too many guys over there for Anthony Edwards to be Rookie of the Year. You kind of have to be on a team that sucks
Okay.
if you want to be Rookie of the Year. And we have guys where we shouldn't suck, but I know we're not going to be good. I don't think we're going to be good. I'm a big Cavs naysayer, but I'm also kind of just what I see with my eyes is what my brain tells me to say. So that's that's about as big of a reason I could get. But I don't know. I think LaMelo Ball's probably your front runner for Rookie of the Year. I know you hate him,
Yeah,
but
that
I think
probably makes sense.
he looks unreal in preseason. He looks like an actual true point guard. Doesn't even look to score first, but I think Okoro, if he could shoot like average, I think he's got a good chance of being Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm a little bit more on the optimistic side. I think I've been talking with some of our friends outside of the podcast that the East is so like easy that you know all you have to do is be competitive towards the end of the year, and you could have a shot at making it. And I think our roster is like really in terms of like our 10 people that we will play every night. I think our starting five fits together really nicely. We'll have to see how the Sexton and Garland combo work out this year, but I really do like Garland, Sexton, Okoro, Love, and Drummond. Hopefully, Drummond has like a comeback year. He's a monster on the boards again, and the team plays at least a little bit better defense, and we get some surprise offense out of Garland and hopefully Love. And outside of that, it's a little bit harder to get into the deeper parts of this roster, but I don't know. I'm expecting to have at least a improvement year. Eighth seed is probably like the reachiest thing I could do in terms of what's going to happen with this Cavs, but also just I think the NBA has just kind of been trending in the way that I look at Denver, and I think Denver is one of those teams where they built their team over the draft, like a few years through the draft. They don't really have one player who like really truly sticks out too much. And so I think that's what we've kind of been doing for the past 3 years. And I think we'll see if it finally comes together. But honestly, the roster is kind of nice. I kind of like how it's laid out at this point.
When I look at our roster, and I mean, I think he's like questionable for his status. The only true person I see that could create his own scoring opportunities is Kevin Porter Jr. And I don't even know if he's gonna start the year for us or what his deal is. He might be very in trouble.
Well,
I
no, I
know
think one of
there's
the well, I think an allegation got dropped against him,
right. Yeah, I
but
heard
I don't
there's
know.
some news about him.
Yeah, but I don't know the status of him either. So like, I agree with you, but
But I just don't know, like, at the end of the day, we didn't really need to draft. Like, people say, oh, we didn't really need Obi Toppin. I agree. We didn't need, but I mean, we
right.
went and got JaVale McGee in the offseason. I know we have Kevin Love and Andre Drummond, but like, there's no balance on this team. We have like 5 guards and like 3 power forwards and no centers. And
Well,
no, I mean, the centers are dead. I mean, Thon Maker's like our biggest center. Like, wow, I know centers aren't a big part of the NBA anymore, but like, we really don't even have like, is Okoro really a true 3?
I mean, he's six
Maybe.
foot five. Yeah, I mean
I
that's
mean, but if he's gonna shoot and play, on the ball, I don't know. I just don't see how it works. I mean, Sexton's gonna be pounding the rock, dribbling the whole shot clock, and I just don't know how Sexton, Garland, KPJ, Chetty, and Okoro are gonna mesh. Makes me nervous. Too many guards.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, especially with Bickerstaff and how he's kind of been able to get a hold of this team. But 2 days, I think. What the season starts? Does it start tomorrow? Does it start with the Nets and
I don't
the
even
Warriors
know.
tomorrow? It'll
Maybe.
be nice
And
to see the guy behind you come back with Kevin Durant.
they look so nasty.
Dude, oh my God, that's
I can't wait to watch them play,
if
honestly,
if it
all
could
year
have
long.
if it could have been in Cleveland, it would have been a dream come true for me to have
Yeah, I
those
know.
two on a
Me
team.
too.
I mean, my God, just those
I
two.
like KD. I like KD before the Golden State days.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. I did. I did. So,
supersonics in Thunder years.
yeah, I mean, the year he broke he had what do they call like the fracture at the bottom of your foot?
Right.
Um,
I know
he
what you're
had
talking
he
about.
had that, came back, and still won MVP that year. Was one of the most, I mean, insane seasons I've seen out of a player. But yeah, those two are going to be really interesting. I mean, they're probably the team to beat out of the East. Um, the
That
Heat
team's
and
just good.
yeah, yeah, I really do think so. But I think it'll be interesting. The teams, the players have kind of spread themselves throughout the league ever since last year with Paul George going to the Clippers, with Kawhi and Anthony Davis and LeBron being on the same team, and it was there was less super teams and more like 2v2s and stuff like that, which
Mhm.
I really really like for the NBA. Unfortunately, COVID happened and they had to go into the bubble, and there was a lot of other things going on. But I would really like to have a nice full. It's sort of full. I mean, it's like 72 games or something. They cut like
Yeah,
10
it's good
games
enough.
down. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to watch all those games, but I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be really good to see these guys come back and have Christmas Day basketball. And yeah, but Jeff, you do all your Christmas shopping?
Yep, I think so.
All done?
Everything is, I think everything's done close. It's the 21st, so I think I'm done.
Four
How about
days
you?
left.
All
Yeah,
done?
I'm all good, ready for there's gonna be Christmas Day football.
Yeah, I
Hasn't been
know.
2017, I think was the last time, and that feels weird. Like
There's like 3 or 4 straight days of football this week, NFL.
yeah, that's nuts. But I just thought it was like really weird that they had that and there's still gonna be NBA games. I feel like the last time they played Christmas Day games, like I just like completely must have forgotten about it because like it feels like this is the first time it's ever happening for me, even though I know
Football?
that's not true. On Christmas Day,
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't remember them playing on Christmas Day. Just it seems weird with the NBA, just because the NBA should already be a couple months in at this point
yeah,
normally.
right.
And that's
So
another thing. And the Cavs, like, I know it's probably not going to make that much of a deal, but the teams that weren't in the bubble should start hot. The teams that made it
mm,
had just have less rest. It's like not a huge amount, but I mean, our starting five has basically been sitting at home since
yeah,
whenever
since
six months.
March,
Yeah,
yeah.
7 months. We should come out hot, especially if our schedules. Are we playing the Knicks first in the regular
Uh,
season?
I don't know about
Or
that. Hold
I
on.
don't even know. I have not even looked at our schedule. I've been such a fair weather Cavs
Oh,
fan
I'm
this
definitely
off
not
season.
gonna. No, we play against Charlotte, which will be interesting just
Oh
because
yeah,
we play
yeah,
Lamelo.
Charlotte.
Um, but like I'm not gonna like go down the list. We're not gonna go down the list and like, oh, this is the game I'm gonna watch. Like
No,
I'm gonna watch them
this
when
is a
they're
slow
on. And
time for Cleveland sports.
yeah, I mean, the Browns are amazing, so that's good. I'm sorry,
Right.
the Cleveland baseball team or whatever they're supposed to be called right now are trying to figure out what they're going to be called. So, Jeff, any thoughts on that one? Spiders, spiders.
Spiders. I'm fine with anything, honestly. Unless the Cleveland Citizens, I'll veto
That
that one.
sounds that
I
sounds
don't want to
fun.
be that. People are going to be mad about Cleveland Baseball Club if it's cool, like the jerseys and the logo are cool. I don't care. If we
I
have
don't think they're
cool
going to
merch,
keep any of that.
I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully the colors just stay. Hopefully we're like red and blue and white,
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah. So, all right. Well, like I said, honestly, there's
Do you
just
think? Do you think Ohio State's getting boat raced by Clemson?
I can't wait for Dabu to just get completely shitted on by Ohio State. I wish Trey Sermon would just do what he did this past weekend and just do it to Clemson. In all
I don't think that's
honesty,
gonna happen.
it's
Though.
not. But like, I want in some fashion for someone on our offense to go off, whether it be Fields or Sermon. I mean,
Is Fields' draft stock going down? Is he not going to be the second quarterback?
he'll be the second quarterback. It was one game. I mean, honestly, it'll be good to see the rematch. Our defense is probably not as good as what it was last year when we played Clemson. But
I don't think our offense is as good either.
I think it's debatable. Honestly, Dobbins was very good, but I also think that Sermon has the ability to be better than Dobbins, but we'll see. We'll see. It depends on. I mean, the dude almost rushed for the entirety of his regular season yardage in one game. So we'll see. But I think we'll win. Obviously, no homer.
I think college football sucks.
Yeah, it's in a weird spot.
People that think college is better than the NFL, it's just interesting conversations.
I agree with you.
Because one of my buddies from school, he says that NFL is bad because it's the same teams every year. I said it. College is the same. College has literally been Ohio State, Clemson, and Bama the last half decade.
When was Bama like out of playoff contention?
Maybe once in the last 5 years, maybe.
Once in the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
And for people listening, Notre Dame should not be in the college football playoff.
No, Texas A&M should be top 4.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
They'd have 2 losses without COVID, and this is the first year they joined the ACC. Congrats.
Yeah, but I will say, good for Sean Crawford getting into the playoffs once.
Yeah.
Don't know that they're gonna do anything against Alabama, but good for him for being able to.
He's a great story.
Yeah, I hope he goes into the draft, and I hope he gets drafted. I know teams will probably be really wary about him with all of his injuries and everything. So
I hope the Saints practice squad sign him. Him and Andrew could play together.
Andrew. Where's David? I wonder what happened.
Nowhere.
David was projected like to actually go in like the 4th through 7th rounds, and
was he a Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year one year?
He was projected to be like a Big Ten Player of the Year, or first team Defensive Player of the Year. 1 year. He played really well. I think he led
a lot of
the Big Ten in interceptions at one point, with like 7 or some absurd number, which was really good. But then I don't know. It's really weird, but still good for him to be there. Kevin Dever also in there for like the 4th straight year. So, but yeah, that's all I got. Jeff, you got anything else?
Nope. Kind of a mixed bag today, but
yeah, we're getting to Christmas.
We didn't need a giant, like we didn't even really text each other, but we didn't need a Giants preview. We don't need a Jets preview.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird to say but I mean, we know we got to do.
Yep.
Go 1-0, easy.
No real storylines going into any of those games. So obviously we're more invested into the other stuff, a week from now. I'm looking really forward to that game, but we'll take the standpoint and leave it at 1-0, and we'll come back and see you guys after Sunday. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.